Hey everybody, this is Ryan Fitzpatrick. I'm going to be showing you today a couple of new features with Windows 8, and we're also going to talk about two apps that I happen to like, and I'll show them to you and hopefully you'll like them too. So just starting off, we're going to look at what's new in Windows 8. Windows 8 is a complete overhaul of the traditional Windows interface seen on previous versions of Windows. Mostly you'll see people complaining about the new start screen. That's a new feature in Windows 8, and Windows has never seen anything like that before. It's been all menus and buttons that pop up a menu. So security and performance upgrades and a much more focused approach on touchscreen devices. In addition to that, you're looking at faster boot times, some extra security features, and a new feature that I thought was pretty cool, secure boot. It's kind of up in the air whether or not it's cool, but it's new. We're going to take a look at that in a little bit more depth. But going back to the new look, we've got Windows 7 here. This is the traditional start menu that was seen on previous versions of Windows, and everyone was pretty used to that and happy, and then all of a sudden you've got this giant start screen that pops up on Windows 8 whenever you click on that button where the start menu used to be. Delving into the security side, when you look at Windows 7 on the left, that is the Essentials pack that you could download in addition. Came with Windows Defender, which was like a spyware detection. It didn't do like active antivirus protection. You had to download something extra, and you can see on the right Windows Defender that comes with Windows 8, and it's not just spyware, it's actually an active antivirus. That's free, so you've got integrated security that comes with the new Windows 8 operating system. Comparison of the security features, a little different now. You've got new apps that you download. They're sandboxed, which means that they are limited to what they can do. They're not going to access directories and files that they're not supposed to. So that's a nice added feature with Windows 8. You have the integrated virus protection. That's Windows Defender that I just mentioned, and you don't have to pay for it. You don't have to download Norton and keep giving them money every 6 months. You also have an early launch anti-malware. So that's going to scan the system programs and drivers at the start, earlier in the boot process. Next, we've also got a smart screen filter, and that was in previous versions of Windows, but it operated through Internet Explorer. So you actually have it at an operating system level now. Address space layout randomization, that moves data around in memory to make security holes harder to exploit. That was also in some previous versions of Windows, but on Windows 8, even in the 32-bit version, which had some problems on Windows 7, you get active security with that, and it makes it much harder to exploit those security loopholes. Secure boot, I mentioned before, that is new with Windows 8. It actually takes advantage of the UEFI firmware and guarantees that only signed and approved software can run at boot. It's checking your drivers and apps and making sure that the code is signed. If you run secure boot and it detects anything, you're going to end up with a blue screen of death. So some more info on secure boot. Like I mentioned, it's firmware, and it's going to check the operating system files, apps, to ensure they're trusted by the manufacturer, and then it's going to hand over control to the operating system. Whereas previously, your operating system just kicks right in after the boot process. This is only available on Windows 8 and Server 2012 and Server 2012 R2, and it makes use of the UEFI, Unified Extensible Firmware Interface, which replaces the BIOS firmware. Everyone's pretty used to BIOS, so this is kind of an exciting new feature, and we'll see what comes from it. So some benefits of secure boot: it can be disabled in some cases. That's really good. VeriSign, which is a separate company from Microsoft, is the company that's going to control which code is allowed to execute during the boot process. I think it's really important that it's separate from Microsoft, because that would really create some conflicts of interest and some monopoly problems like Microsoft has seen in the past. And then you have significant reduction in malware that would affect the OS, things that would execute at boot like rootkits and Trojans. I think a positive and a negative that comes from secure boot are that you can only run approved code. We're going to take a look at some downsides now, and I think that approved code thing can be definitely a plus and definitely a negative. So some downsides: the vendor controls what your system can run. This is like what Apple's been doing for years. They want to make sure that your system's safe, but also that you're using what they want you to use. So that's going to definitely limit you if you're trying to run something from Linux that may not play nice with the Microsoft Secure Boot and the new UEFI firmware. So again, only approved code can be executed at startup. The bottom line, I think that it's going to be effective in a business environment. It's definitely going to prevent some catastrophic things that could happen from happening. It's going to help less tech-savvy users with security. So if, you know, mom or grandmom is running their operating system, you don't have to worry so much about a phone call asking how to get rid of this, you know, extra toolbar or something that popped up without their permission. But it could be frustrating because you know, PC users that might want to run safe software from an unsigned third party, or for people that are experimenting with their own code, they're going to run into some trouble. They're going to get that blue screen of death when they try to boot their system. So I picked two apps on the Windows 8, the Windows Store, that I thought were really cool. I use one of them. I haven't used the other. But the first one is Plex. It's a media organizer. It streams your content from anywhere. You can upload audio, video, pictures, files, whatever. And yeah, and the other one is Launchy. It's an application launcher. It's like an app for other apps, and it makes it a lot easier to access applications, files, stuff that you use frequently without having to dig for them. So let's look a little bit deeper at Plex. Like I said, Plex, you can upload video, audio, pictures. The app lets you run all of this from your desktop, so you don't need to log on to the browser and go from there. You can manage it almost like a file manager utility. So that's really cool, makes it easy. It plays really nice with metadata. So it looks at where the file, what the name of the file, and when you downloaded it, and things like that, to organize for you on its server. And it also has, it's connected to another server, or it may just be to the internet, that's going to look at what the file that you have, how it kind of can fit into another category. So if you download Reservoir Dogs, it'll put it into your action movies category. There's no need to compress your files with YouTube, like with YouTube, and you can access by web browser or with the desktop app. When you upload something from your house, you can go over to your friend's place and watch it from there, hook up an HDMI cable to the TV, or you can even download the app. It's not just on Windows Store, it's on like a smart TV. You could download the app on there and then stream your content. And then the interface is intuitive, pretty, and the best part, it's free. And here's a little look at what Plex looks like. You see my library in the top left corner, and this one here is showing a couple of different media forms from the office. And then it actually will, using the metadata and what file names that you have saved in your account, it'll suggest channels that you might like, which is cool. Nothing too crazy there. Next we have Launchy, which is that applications app. It runs in the background and can be accessed through hotkey combinations. So hotkeys, just you assign to the keyboard the combination of keys that you press, and it'll execute. That'll bring up Launchy, or you can actually just set some of the apps that you use most frequently to a hotkey. So if you're always running Chrome, you can just set it to Control S G or something like that, and just pop Chrome up by pressing those buttons. The other option is that you can press Alt and Shift, I believe, and that'll bring Launchy's search dialog box up, and you can start typing the name of the program or file or folder or whatever, and it'll start searching your hard drive for that. The files, folders, and applications are indexed, so that makes it really fast. It's not searching actively, it's already got everything indexed as you download, and there's plenty of things like Launchy, but from what I've read, this is really, really fast, and I really like the part that it's free. Here's a little example of Launchy. That's just the search part that comes up, and you can start typing Chrome, or like I said, you could set Chrome to a hotkey shortcut. So in conclusion, we're seeing that Windows 8 has a definite increase in security. There's some things in there like the ASLR that's going to definitely help with preventing people getting into or exploiting loopholes, and of course Secure Boot, pretty cool feature for people that may not be the most tech savvy. The new interface, it's up for debate. People seem to love it or hate it. The start screen is new, so of course it's met with resistance, but it's, like I said, up for debate, and we've already seen how Windows 10 is going to change that, so everyone will be happy once that comes out. Windows Store and the applications that we just looked at are definitely a bonus. Application stores are prevalent, they're all over. iTunes and Xbox Store, Google Play, they're everywhere, so it's about time Windows got on board with that, and I see that as just good potential for the future and them kind of just catching up. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Anything that I can clarify, please shoot me an email and subscribe to my page. Just kidding. Thanks.